back, dear viewers, and we'd like to welcome our second guest for today's episode of Hala Kuwait. With us, Dr. Zainab M.H.A, Rawasi Treasurer, Head of Rawasi Human Reports. We're really happy to have you here as guest in Hala Kuwait.
Thank you, it's nice to be here.
So at the beginning, Dr. Zainab, maybe you'd like to tell us about the conference itself.
Well, before I go into that, I'd like to talk a little bit about Rawasi, if you don't mind.
Yes, sure.
So the vision of Rawasi, or the main goal of Rawasi, is to defend the rights of the nuclear family, so starting from the father, the mother and the children, in a number of ways. So we do a lot of social awareness and educational awareness, as well as psychological awareness, and some work in introducing legislation and activating some legislation. So the Human Resources Committee this year had thought about how to address the needs of the nuclear family. One of them being the whole process of building a home, or your dream home, basically.
Yes.
So this is where the conference idea came from. They initially wanted to do a training program, but then saw needs for resources, and that's essentially why it grew to become a conference. It's the first time introducing this conference, and hopefully it won't be the last.
Yes.
What else did you like to know?
About, of course, the participation of the governmental, let's say, institute itself. Like, maybe you can elaborate on that point too.
So our strategic partner right now is the General Authority for Industry, followed by the Public Authority for Housing Welfare, and they are mainly the two groups that you'd want to look at when it comes to thinking of construction and vision. Their vision sort of is portrayed throughout this conference. We offer two parts. There's a scientific section, which includes the seminars and workshops, and we have an exhibition followed by a presentation of the different projects by various sponsors of the conference.
Yes. So did the conference, let's say, had a title, for instance?
Yes, it's Dream House Conference.
Dream House Conference.
The Dream House.
The Dream House. So from where did that actually idea come from, let's say, for having that title?
Okay, so it essentially came from Dr. Mohammed Hamid Asad, who envisioned the concept with his partner, and they were basically living or dreaming about the same concept. A lot of different people that are about to receive a piece of land in Kuwait, especially the citizens, and what they may do to start it off, how they'd like that home to be. One section of the society that we are very interested in Rawasi is persons with disability. So they may have different requirements to creating their homes, making it more accessible and things like this. So where do they go for these resources? So the whole committee is trying to establish a location where the different leaders in construction areas and electrical, mechanical and whatever is needed to create a home from start to finish in one space, so that everybody could come and basically communicate effectively and in a safe way, so that everybody's rights is protected.
Yes. So how important do you see this conference, let's say, impact on Kuwait, especially when it comes into various aspects?
So I believe the conference should impact them greatly. So if we think about the Public Authority for Housing, for example, they've just finished a number of projects in various areas, including Wafra, South Saad Al Abdallah, Mutla, and so on. And there's been a huge allocation rate. So you have a number of people basically waiting to receive pieces of land and looking for the resources to start their actual experience in building. They're looking for people with experience, people that can tell them what not to do in terms of the process from start to finish, and we hope that we can help make that easier.
Yes, and maybe you can elaborate on the point where that was noticed that there's some kind of, let's say, foreigner, let's say, participating, especially abroad. So maybe you can talk about it more.
So we have a number of people or organizations joining us. Our silver partner is Global Talent, which is a training and consultancy firm that has experience in engineering and construction. Hopefully they'll be participating and giving us some workshops. Training and consultancy firm that has experience in engineering and construction. Hopefully they'll be participating and giving us some workshops. We also have a Kuwaiti company that's branched out to the GCC region, successfully, and they are like basically professional in the areas of construction and building. We also have an elevator company that will join us from the GCC region, so they're also international, and they have partnerships with Germany and China.
Yeah, that's really amazing to hear about that indeed. So also when it comes into your vision, and how do you see that this conference could succeed here in Kuwait?
So they could talk about success in a number of ways. So the first one, like I've mentioned before, is we already have a large number of people waiting for these resources. So I'm sure with good marketing, which I hope we receive and implement before the start of the conference, which will be the 29th of August, 29th to 31st of August, yes. In the evening, inshallah, that these people will benefit. The second we could think of as a general authority for industry, and what they are trying to do is establish environmentally friendly residential cities, and their whole vision is to really take care of the environment from the infrastructure from start to finish. So they are working on doing this in cooperation with the Public Authority for Industry and the Municipal of Planning, I would believe. So that's another positive step that we could think of success. And the third one is you have a lot of construction companies that are looking to compete for market share. Yes. And quality assessment. So in order to do that, they look to achieve the ISO 9001 criteria, and in order to do that, they need to participate in community events and provide their services that way. So we're hoping to bring on board as many as possible. Our sponsorship and partnership doors are still open until the 10th of August. So if anybody is interested, no matter how small companies are, please come forward and join us on board of this conference. Yes. And I believe, if I could say the Instagram account, I'm not sure. Indeed, yes. So it's Rawasi Kuwait, as it said, and you're welcome to call us anytime. Well,
that's really amazing to hear that, let's say, you're accepting, even when it comes into, let's say, small businesses and small, let's say, companies itself. Also when it comes into, let's say, the day of the conference, you said it's the 31st of August.
29th to the 31st.
29th to the 31st. So it's going to be for 2 days, with all of the, let's say, workshops and all the schedule that's going to be held itself. So also talking about the conference, this is the first and one of a kind that it's been held by Rawasi, am I correct? Yes.
Yes, pertaining building and materials.
So let's say after, inshallah, the succeed of this first conference, are there any future plans or having, let's say, different conferences in the future?
Definitely. Well, Rawasi does a number of conferences. Before we move on to a different conference, our press conference for this one will be on the 12th of August, so Sunday. Hopefully, please join in live and see all the different companies' names attributed and joining us during that conference. But in general, Rawasi does a number of
conferences, workshops,
let's say more of awareness things throughout. We've got a campaign going right now called Takatuf, in order to help people manage drug abuse. That's just in the starting elements and very successful. And this is through our Family Rights Committee headed by Ms. Ghanima Habib. We also have lots of things in plan for youth. For example, in January we have a youth leadership camp that will be for boys and girls, and with a really nice plan in order. We also are in the process, or have been in the process for a while, in writing reports to the United Nations. This is one active area, and I'm the head of that committee. Hopefully we can identify different issues and problems in the Kuwaiti society that need attention and pinpoint how we can solve them. So that's one of the main things Rawasi are interested in.
Well, that's really amazing to hear all of the achievements that Rawasi has actually been doing, and hopefully we wish all the best and success when it comes into the upcoming events and conferences themselves. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And with that, dear viewers, we're going to head to one of our reports that's going to be presented in M.H.A, Kuwait, and then we'll be back again.